Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. It is, 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern time. I literally wrapped up a team call 30 seconds ago. Once you start doing these live videos on a regular basis, you get a little bit too comfortable, I think. So I have to be cognizant of that. But I literally loaded up the StreamYard software literally 30 seconds ago before this. But here we are on time, ready to roll with our Tuesday topic. Before we get into that, let me introduce Ronan Rahman, my co-host and partner. There you are.
What's happening? Hey, Brian.
You weren't nervous, were you? That I was,
No,
cutting it down to the wire. I don't want to make you nervous.
So no, but I'm excited that you're here. I'm excited that we get to do this because the 3-part power profile is another cog in what makes this whole thing work.
It indeed is. It is indeed.
We talked about message to market match yesterday. We're going to build on top of that. And as always, we're live. So please comment, ask questions, whatever it is, let us know and we'll get to it. And I'm going to scoot out of here and let you do your thing.
I'm ready to do it. Ready to go. Okay, so 3-point power profile. Now, what we're talking about here, in case you're new, is we're talking about helping you generate qualified appointments with other businesses, people in other businesses. If you are in a business where you sell into other businesses, a service or a product, you're in the right place. Yesterday, we talked about how to craft kind of your messaging a little bit, your headline message for sure. And we call that our market to message match. Today, we're going to cover the 3 most important points in your LinkedIn profile. You want to make sure these are handled. As Ronan will elaborate on later, it's kind of like getting dressed up for the big game. So we're going to help you get dressed up today for that big game. So with that, Ronan, if you wouldn't mind sharing my screen, I'm going to jump right into it. Okay, let's play it full screen because it looks just a little better that way. So LinkedIn 3-point power profile. Here we go. I'm going to show you some examples. I'm literally going to just unpack and dissect some of these actual LinkedIn profiles that we've had a part in working on and explain what's going on here. It's not all obvious. That's why I want to explain it. Some of it is, and some of it's not so much. So feel free to take notes. Feel free to rewind later and take notes. Everything that I am about to teach you works. Okay. It's real stuff that we do daily in our business for ourselves and for our clients. This is not theory. This is actually what we do for a living. So let's start with number 1. The number 1 point is your photograph. We call that a profile photo. As I say, week after week, the best way to get this right is to hire a professional photographer, let him know or her know that you are creating a photo for your social media. They know what to do. Okay. They've been doing this for years now. If that is not an option for you, then I want you to make sure that the following items or features are included or not included, as the case may be, in your profile photo. Number 1 is your background. Okay. Start with your background. Nothing distracting, nothing in it that could distract the viewer from looking at you, which is what the point of your profile photo is. I recommend a completely plain background. As you can see here with Dana's photograph, it's completely plain, right? It's a dark charcoal gray black background, right? Totally non-distracting. You don't have to use that color. You can use any color you want. Just make sure it's not distracting. Don't have other people in the background. Don't have bookcases in the background. Don't have other scenery or landscaping in the background. That looks great in a photo album. Not so much for your profile photo. All right, that's number 1. Number 2 for your photograph is close up. We want to see you, your face. It's difficult to express personality on a static photo. So the only way you can really do that is have it close up so we can see all of your wonderful facial features, okay? While we're at it, number 3 is make sure your expression is inviting and reflects who you are a bit, right? So if you're a super jovial, outgoing, energetic person like me, then show that off in your facial expression as long as it's inviting. If you're more subdued and calm and collected, like Ronan, show that in your facial expression and still be inviting, okay? If you're more serious and thoughtful and precise, show that in your profile photo. I'm going to show you an example of how to do that effectively in a moment. So you don't have to use my facial expression. Just use something that reflects your personality, is inviting, and shows you very well. And then I think I covered it all. So it's non-distracting background, close up, inviting facial expression that represents your personality. So 4 things for your profile photo. All right, next, part number 2 of your 3-point power profile is your cover image. That's the big rectangular image across the top of your LinkedIn profile. Now, we see all kinds of things here. One of the most common things we see is they haven't updated it at all. If that's you, here's some tips on how to update it. We also see kind of a misuse, if you will, oftentimes in this area. I want you to think of this area like a freeway billboard. We don't have time to read a bunch of copy. We don't have time to, get your entire like mission statement, if you will, in your cover image. Keep in mind, most people are viewing this on a mobile phone. So it's really small. Like everything is like shrunk down, right, on a mobile phone. If you remember, what was that ride at Disneyland? I think it was called Inner Space. And you remember you shrink down, right? Imagine that, okay? And looking at your profile photo from that perspective. So it's a really small thing. And you want to use very few words, if any at all. And you want to make sure that if someone just looks at it for a couple of seconds, they get it, right? They get what you're trying to come after here. So with Dana, she's got 3 words: real, relatable, results. These are words that she uses in email signatures, on her website, throughout some of her other communication. It works very well for her. That's enough. They're large and readable on her cover image. All right. So that's the kind of thing you're looking for: billboard style copy, if any copy at all. And the second thing that we like to encourage our clients to do is show a little bit more of your personality in a way that's professional. So for Dana, she loves spending quality time with her son. And here's a silhouetted image of a woman and what looks to be like a child. And this really resonates with Dana, and it connects her in a more personal way with her potential clients. So feel free to do something like that. And she also uses her logo on her cover image. Nothing wrong with that. Just, you don't need to make it huge, right? Just a subtle reminder that you actually are in business, okay? It's good to do. And that's it for that. So that's part number 2 of your 3-point power profile. And I'm going to show you some other examples to give you different creative ideas that you can maybe adapt for yourself. So just hold on. Number 3 is your headline. Now, we went into great length yesterday. I believe it was 2:00 Pacific time, maybe 2:30, on how to craft. We actually gave you a formula for crafting a headline. And you can see Dana's right below her name. Hers reads, "Get your weekends and evenings back while building a wildly successful accounting, bookkeeping, CFO, or law firm." I'm not going to go into how we crafted that or the rationale behind it, because I did that yesterday. What I will say, though, is having a tailored headline that speaks directly to your market, your audience, is really, really important, especially on LinkedIn, because almost everything you do on LinkedIn, whether it's making a connection request, commenting on a post, creating a post, all of those actions carry with it your headline. And so that's one of the first things people will read about you. And so you want to really make sure it resonates with your market. And if you want to know how to do that, listen to yesterday's training. It's still live on our Facebook feed, YouTube channel, wherever you're watching this right now. And so those are the 3 parts: profile, cover photo, cover image, and headline. Now, let me show you a couple of other examples. I'm going to move on to Sergio Chavez. As you can see, his photograph satisfies all the elements that we discussed. In fact, a professional made his photograph, but it's a non-distracting background. There's nothing in there that you're like, what is that? What's that thing in the background? It's non-distracting. It's all blurred out. Nice close-up shot, inviting facial expression, and it shows off his personality very, very well. If you knew him, you would know what I'm talking about. In his cover image, he chose to not put any words or even a logo in it. He chose to show kind of a behind the scenes, over the shoulder look, which is very effective in this case, on what it might be like working with Sergio. He does Google advertising and Facebook advertising and things like that. And so he's in this environment. I don't know if it was staged or if this is an actual client of his, to be honest with you, but it really works well because you can see the back of him and people that he's presumably working with during a business meeting, right? So you get this sense of what it might be, what it might feel like, what it might look like to work with Sergio. It's very, very effective use of his cover image. And of course, a custom headline. If you're looking to do Google advertising, by the way, or Facebook advertising or YouTube advertising, Sergio does all of our advertising, runs all of our media for us online. He's a great guy to reach out to. So just tell him we sent you. I'm going to show you Ronan's profile as well. There's that more subdued smile I was telling you about, but very inviting photograph of Ronan. Looks professional, non-distracting background, meets all the criteria, all the check boxes. Perfect photo. For his cover image, we set up appointments for clients, right? So he's done some very creative and subtle things here at the same time where he's got this sophisticated, fountain pen thing going on, which is totally cool. And he's got the word lunch. And someone's about to write something down like an appointment. Okay. So that's a very cool tie-in to the business. And of course, our logo, and then a custom headline, of course. So that's very important. I'm going to show you one more profile just to kind of wrap this, these examples up. And this is the example I was telling you about where, you can be more serious as well in your photographs. So this is Shannon Graham. He works with very high-end venture capitalists, extremely well-funded entrepreneurs, doing a lot of good things for the world. And he comes in as their leadership coach and really helps improve their businesses overall. And so he's got a very serious business, very high-end business. And this expression works very well for him. Even the lighting, which is not necessarily what I would use for a lot of us, where he's got kind of this dark and shaded look on one side of his face, but it works for him. So these aren't hard. Not everything is like a hard and fast line in the sand rule. Like you want to make it relate to you. So in this case, it works perfectly for Shannon. Once again, a custom headline. So he's hitting all the elements here with his 3-point power profile as well. So those are 4 examples that I wanted to show you so you can kind of see that, and maybe you'll get some ideas here on how you can enhance whatever you have right now for your LinkedIn profile. So with that, I am going to exit out of my presentation and come back to full screen here and invite Ronan to lend his commentary. Wow, there we go. That was an odd look.
So, commentary, I think you already touched on it. This is who you are. This is your representation. The first thing that people see when they're digitally meeting you, and you want to be presentable. The same reason you would be presentable at live is the same reason you want to be presentable in the digital world. And it's not about being inauthentic. It's not about anything other than really displaying who you are in the best possible light, right?
That's right.
So it doesn't matter who you are in a way. If it's a schlocky picture, right? If it looks like somebody just kind of pushed you up against a wall and took a photo with their phone, that doesn't necessarily reflect who you are, even, to be honest.
We've seen that. We've literally seen people cut out like an image of them at like a wedding photograph. And you can totally tell there's like someone's hand on their shoulder over here.
Right.
It's like, don't do that. Like, take it serious.
Themselves out of something.
Yeah.
Sometimes, and the ones where they get like pushed up against the wall, I always want to have some fun and get some numbers and edit some numbers in at the bottom.
Can you show us your side view?
That's right, because they all look like they're
and your height. Yeah, right.
It's crazy. And get a haircut.
Except for me.
Yeah, you are exempt from that. But definitely,
this is my COVID-19 haircut right here.
Love it. And, your shampoo bill, I'm sure, is not as high as mine. But I digress. So anyway, here's the thing. This is who you are to some extent. It is who you're representing yourself to be. And if you really think about it, like, how would I do it live and in person and then apply that digitally, then that'll all make sense.
Absolutely.
Cool. So, hey, listen, tomorrow we're doing messaging, right?
Yes, we are. Yes, we
All right.
are.
So,
Really great topic. So if you've ever struggled with what to say or how to say it, whether it's making a new connection request or reaching out to people that you've already been connected with, tomorrow's topic is what you want to dial into. It's going to help you a lot. We're going to show you some very specific messages that we're currently using that are working great. So if you're interested in that, tune in.
Yep. All right. See you all tomorrow.